Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, approximately 11 a.m. in Honolulu, 5 o'clock in New York. It is the 19th day of June, Tuesday, 2012, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Under some pressure today, we currently have the precious metals complex mostly lower, down about $10 currently in gold, currently trading roughly at 1618, 1619 basis cash. The low is 1660, high 1634. Silver off about 30 cents, currently trading at 28.54. And we've had a low of 28.24 and a high of 29.06. Interestingly enough, today we are seeing the market react to the scenario happening in Greece. There was an announcement made that they could put a coalition government together by tomorrow, and that put pressure on the metals. As you can see, trading lower on the day, anywhere between $7 and $10. However, I believe there's one primary question we need to address. Even with a new coalition government, unless Greece completely revamps the way they take money in and spend money, in other words, their GDP as opposed to their budget allocations and entitlements, they're far from solving this problem. Secondly, what we are going to be witnessing tomorrow is the minutes being released from the FOMC meeting, which began today. I personally believe that the belief that we will have further monetary easing has pretty much been factored into the market. So depending on what is announced today, whether there is very little or there is something significant, I think that we've seen a good part of the reaction. And the old adage, buy on rumor, sell on fact, might be true. We'll watch that very, very closely. First chart that I do want to look at today, it's a short-term chart, Heikin Ashi format, 4 hours in time length. And as you can see, the market currently is trading much lower, now trading down to about 16, 17. We just saw a print at 13. I don't know how real that was. But when we look at the marketplace itself from this short-term perspective, what we are seeing is this. We absolutely seem to have gotten a potential set of resistance, and that resistance begins at around 1640, and you can see this at about 1630 right in here. We're going to, I believe, have major support right around 1600. And of course, I see primary support in gold currently at about 1520, 1530. And that, of course, is the triple bottom that we witnessed the market trading at on 3 occasions since the market began correcting. Traders, we are looking at a longer term weekly chart. This is of our August gold contract off of the COMEX. And as we have seen more than significant pressure in the marketplace, there can be no doubt about that. After hitting this top at 1920, we have had this market consistently make a set of lower highs, as you can see. But we've also identified the fact that we have a pretty good base and support level, which has been forming really at this lower point, meaning around the 1530 area. What we can see, and one technical observation that I think is something that is noteworthy, is when we look at the longer term MACD. Now, this is going back to really the end of 2008. As you can see, this is the beginning of 2009 right here. And when we look at the MACD, you can see we had this major cross, this market came up, and it then traded above this threshold, meaning the moving averages themselves were consistently along with other oscillators in an overbought scenario because the market kept rising. And you can see that this stayed along this plane until we got that really nice parabolic rise. That happened, of course, in July of last year. But here's what I'm finding that I think is noteworthy. That ever since our retracement, you can see that retracement quite clear, for the first time since really 2008, we've dipped back into the oversold scenario. On a longer term basis, these averages, the MACD, have not crossed, but they have, you can see this hook right in here, and that signals the potential for a rather large upside wave. In other words, this is really the first time that we have seen the MACD, now this is on a longer term basis, go back into this oversold scenario, meaning it's crossed this zero line, this threshold line, it's back down, and it could in fact be hooking back up. Absolutely worth noting, especially for gold bulls, as we have seen such significant pressure in the gold market for the better part of this year. Traders, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some fairly volatile swings in the market as we go into the minutes being released. One other significant chart I'd like to take a look at before looking at silver, and this is our dollar chart, 432 minutes short term. We see the top here quite clearly at 84. Market goes under pressure, but there were a couple of occasions, as you can see right in here and in here. Also, the most recent activity, as we saw the dollar firm up a little bit, you can see that it is now back into its downtrend, this significant downtrend that we have been witnessing since the end of last month. Silver. You know, traders, silver has really been in this defined range. We've talked about this on a couple of occasions. I can certainly say that it is my current belief that we've identified some absolute support within the area of these bottoms right in here. But those bottoms are significantly lower than the market's trading at. They're just above, just below 27, just at mid 26 area right in here. You can also see when we look at the Henkin Ashi charts that there hasn't been the kind of a clear uptrend or a defined downtrend that we're witnessing, because what we're witnessing right now is really a congestion area, the market trading within a defined range, kind of looking for direction at this point. I believe it will follow gold, but I believe that it does have a mindset of its own, being that it is an industrial metal and thereby is susceptible to economic news and data that comes out as the scenarios unfold worldwide. We'll take a very, very serious look at this, see how this market's trading, as well as the gold market, as we go into the release of the FOMC minutes, and that will be tomorrow. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you as always good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.
Pick up every stitch. The rabbits running in the ditch. Beatniks out to make it real.